And hi, everybody. Welcome to Rick Snider's Washington, where you get the whole story. So please like, share, and subscribe. And those on YouTube, can hit the dollar sign below. That'd be great. Todd, I don't know how you got through before I hit the live button, but okay. You beat Steve. So, however that worked. Let's see. I think everything else is ready to go. Yep. All right. Okay. So, I'll let everybody come in, see who's coming in. Last week we did about half the number of people we usually do, and that was after two losses. Now after three, the crowd will thin a little bit this week, I think. And
Confession is humility.
all right, but everybody's always welcome. We'll do the show every Monday through Super Bowl. But next Monday is bye. Well, all right, we have a game Sunday, Titans game. Then the next week is the bye, finally. This team desperately needed to bye like 2 weeks ago. So and it showed. They got screwed on this again, I think. So I probably won't do one the Monday after. I haven't missed one since July. Um, Time to take a break, to say the least. But anyway, Greg wants to know, I think they get in the playoffs. 9-8 can get you in the playoffs most years. So that means they got to win two more. Can they win two more? They get out of their own way. Yeah, I think so. On there, I look exhausted. Thanks. I've been up since 5:30. Uh, Sunday, Mondays are long days. I just saw Dan Quinn football. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine, Bob. JD's not seeing the field. Well, that's part of it. Yeah, I think this offense needs its receivers to step up because Brown hasn't played that well. They haven't been throwing at Terry, so it's kind of hard to say Terry needs to step up more. If they don't throw you the ball, what more can you do? And he did have that touchdown. I thought for a brief moment there they might win the game. And boy, that was a crazy, crazy finish to the Dallas Cowboys game. 41 points scored in the fourth quarter. I don't know how many in the last few minutes. I lost track. It was like, what is going on with this whole thing? Just so I think Jaden played decent. I gave him a bad grade. I probably should have gone higher on my post game grades. That's why they're flash grades. Looking back on it more, I think I would have given him a higher grade. I think Kingsbury is somehow confused in his own mind about play calling. And now Quinn talked today. Eckler has a concussion protocol. So is Wiley. Don't expect to see either of them play this week. And then they have the bye. So that would give them 3 weeks to get back. And I mean, Eckler, I don't know. That was a bad one. And then, Beatis is hurt. They didn't talk about him today, but I don't know if he's going to play. And of course, Brian Robinson's got that ankle. He's kind of, game to game here. I could see them giving him a week off and letting him rest up. Let's see. Nobody, Bob asked if anybody's asked why Terry isn't getting more throws, and that didn't come up. Are they going to release the kicker, Redskins? I don't think so at this point. GHT Gillen, will Lattimore see the field this season? Yeah, I think so. Probably after the bye. Todd, yeah, it was a wild game. It was 3-3 at half. They got the over under was 45 and a half. They went over just a few minutes to go. And then I don't know how many, what did they finish with? 60 some points. I mean, it was crazy. I don't know. And in special teams, you start off blocking a kick and a punt and end up giving up two touchdowns at the end on returns that broke their back. But, if Quinn had gone for two, and I think he should have gone for two, they would have been up by one. That would have been a different kind of game, I think. And they might have won it. So I really didn't like that decision just to kick the extra point. And of course, it missed. But I would have gone for the win there. And I know he said, that's what you do as a road team. No, you can do that as any team. You can go for a win. I mean, the stadium was about 50-50 as far as fans go. So it wasn't like it was a total home game. So I think they should have been aggressive there. JD, is pretty good on that 2-point run. So I would have done it. Redskins, Austin can't kick from 50 plus. Well, he did make one there. I think it was 51. Uh, Firefighter, losing to Dallas just feels like as bad as the loss gets. Well, yeah, I mean, Dallas was ripe for beating. So, hmm. Larry, how was the bourbon I drank the other day? I drank some Field of Dreams bourbon with a couple of my son-in-laws, and I'm not a hard liquor guy, so to me it was like, eh. And they both drank it and said it tastes like bourbon. So if you like bourbon, I guess you'll like the Field of Dreams one. But that's probably the first hard liquor I've had in a while. You get older, you got to take better care of yourself. So, and while we're sitting here, okay, Todd, they better win Sunday versus Tennessee. That's gonna be a tough game. Um, the season might be over if they don't win. I kind of agree with you there. I don't know. They still have New Orleans. They could still win that. They could win a couple more games. I wouldn't give up yet. Greg, they look unprepared. I tell you what, I did see. Dallas's defense was prepared. They were like ready for every single play. It's like they were looking at the playbook and just going for it. So they scouted this team well. That's not a good thing. Jamaica Bobsledders here. What was Snider's team's record against Dallas? Oh, I'd have to look that up. I don't keep that stuff in my head, man. Casey, did pumpkin pie win the vote? I don't know. I think pecan pie in a poll I did got more than any. And well, I don't know what these. And I know people who hate pumpkin pie. I like pumpkin pie. I like apple. If I had to be honest, I like apple a little better. But I'll eat both. I'm going to Costco tomorrow. You can get the humongous pumpkin pies. I think for $10. Is that what it is? And it's huge. I mean, they're around all the time anyway, most of the year. So you go get a chicken for $5. You go get a pumpkin pie. Then you stop and get a hot dog and a soda for $1.50. you know, let's see. Why don't they check out free agents like Michael Thomas or Humphrey Renfro? Well, they haven't come up, Redskins. I'm not sure. Jake Gruden would say code red. Joel, you're probably right. This is a code red game. I mean, really, they almost all are. The only difference with Tennessee is it's not a division game, so it's a little less important. But really, winning's all that matters. If I watched Orlovsky's breakdown of passing game, no, don't bother. I don't look at everybody's breakdowns of things. I watched the game myself, so I know what I saw. Pumpkin pie for the win. Yeah, I mean, I like both. Pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie is not vastly different than pumpkin. I guess we're talking all this because Halloween, not Halloween, Thanksgiving is Thursday. So I haven't even thought about it yet, but it's at my house, so I better start thinking about it. I got a bunch of people coming over. I bought a big house. It's good for entertaining. I built it a couple years ago, and so my daughter. I have two daughters. They'll bring food too. Todd, do you think Chris Rodriguez will play on Sunday? Probably, because I don't think B. Rob and Eckler are going to play. I know Eckler's not going to play. I would say probably B. Rob is not. So Jeremy McNichols, who I think has looked okay in the very brief stints he's had, he's not a prime back every down, but then again, your offensive line is going to probably be missing Wiley, maybe the center. They're banged up. Gillen, all the neighbors have Christmas decorations up. Yeah, I put my tree up the other day. My wife made me, but the outdoor lights I'm doing tomorrow. And I'm on my HOA board in my development just so nobody could mess with me. But according to the rules, you're not supposed to have your lights up before 30 days before Christmas, which is today. So I have to go. I don't go around citing people or anything, but I just thought it was funny. I mean, Thanksgiving's as late as it can be this year, so Christmas seems like on the edge. I mean, the local radio station has been playing Christmas music for over a week now. But you do want to get through Thanksgiving first. Then we can all talk about the election or something. We don't talk politics too much in my house. I don't talk about things I want to fight with people about. Slam and jamming. Thanks for coming. You see a full-fledged collapse. Well, I mean, 3 straight. They're going to finish the back 9 with a losing record, I think. So that's not good. Joel, I agree with you that they had more days off, and that was to rest, not prepare. And Dallas was a little shorter, so they should have won that game. What happened to the offense, Kim? Uh, I think the receivers aren't doing their job as much. The line has had a little more problems. Jaden's a little bit in a slump. The running game is banged up. Tight ends, I don't know where they are. Other than that, it's doing pretty good. How much money does Washington have to spend this offseason, Gregory? Don't keep the number in my head, but it's a lot. I mean, it's enough to go do what you want to go do. But I think it's like 90 million or something. I don't keep these things in my head anymore. Sorry. They're easily looked up online. I only have so much room left in my head. Let's see. Todd, I'm into Christmas music. I listen to B101 out of Philly and 101.9 Light out of Baltimore. There you go. We must be up there. In Washington, it's 97.1 FM, Wash FM, which is like a light rock station. I kind of miss having a chance to listen to some of the old rock stuff because, I can't listen to Bing Crosby anymore, singing that stuff. I mean, I've heard it for 50 some years. I can't listen to it anymore. I need new Christmas songs, and we get a few here and there. But my God, Mariah Carey must have the biggest mansion overlooking the Pacific Ocean, paid just by All I Want for Christmas Is You. My God, how much money does this woman make from that song? Ooh, I can't stand, you just hear it to death. Oh, so Richmond has one too. I guess everybody does this. It must make money or they wouldn't do it. Okay, Deadskins have 103 million. Okay, I knew it was a lot. That doesn't mean they're spending it. There you go. More if they move on from Allen. And I think John Allen won't be on this team next year. I have a bet for lunch with Grant Paulson at 106.7, the fan, because we sit next to each other at the games, and I've known Grant for forever since he was a kid. And I said, my preseason bet was that Jamin Davis and Emmanuel Forbes would not be on the roster by the end of the season. Jamin's already gone. Emmanuel was inactive yesterday. He's barely played for like 6 weeks. I may win that bet, and I'm going to make Grant take me somewhere expensive if I win. If I lose, we're going to McDonald's. Okay. How many of Cyber's kickoffs went to the end zone? I don't really remember any. And the bad part of that is Dallas has a very good returner. He's maybe the best one in the league. He did score a touchdown. So yeah, I do remember, Joel, when Washington beat Pittsburgh. That was a weird game. They were 11-0, 11-0. But I saw Pittsburgh's game the week before. I thought they were ripe for a loss in that situation, and I actually picked Washington in that game and got it right. What do you think are percentage chance of making the playoffs this season, Mr. Cool? Well, I'll give it a 45% chance. How about that? Almost 50-50. What's Cliff doing, Brian? He's probably staring at game film over and over until he goes blind. And I mean, to me, sometimes you just spend too much time looking at stuff. You know what you do? Go do what you do well, and that usually is enough to win if you do it well, which is what Quinn said. They got to start doing more. Quinn said today, too, that they were also too tight, trying too hard. I don't know if I ever believed such a thing. Ruth Chris. I've never been to Ruth Chris, the Dubs family. Is that expensive? I've heard about it, which is why I haven't been there. Just Moody, thank you so much for donating to the cause. Last week, by the way, all money went for the food bank, and we raised $250, which I thought was great. I mean, that doesn't solve world hunger, but it makes a difference, I think. So we're going to do a toy drive maybe in a week or so. Did I see Joe with Jay-Z? So that's who it was. I saw Joe talking to somebody, but I didn't know it was Jay-Z. I know the name. I don't know who Jay-Z, and I know he sings and all that, but I don't know him by just seeing him. Gillen, what's the Bo Nix talk? Well, I don't know if he should have been number one. He's playing well now, but Jaden played well earlier. Pick your poison on all that. Greg, you're right. You have to beat the Eagles. If they want to do anything, they got to beat the Eagles. 31 points in the last 3 minutes. So that's what it was, Mike. Okay, because I hadn't had time to go back and count everything up. It's been a busy day. What scares me about Tennessee? Well, I like their defense, Bob. That's number one. Will Levis can have good games. Not always, but sometimes. Mr. Cool, is there a case for Mariota starting? No, I don't think so. I don't think this isn't Jaden. This isn't on Jaden. I saw him make some really nice athletic plays at times, so I'm not as worried about the rib anymore. The Harbaugh Bowl. Who you got tonight? Baltimore. Baltimore's, I think, the best team I have seen this season in person watching games is. I think Baltimore is the best. So I'll stay with them. I thought Pittsburgh was next best, and I thought Cleveland was the worst team I've seen this season. And then Cleveland beat Pittsburgh. So, Karosh, can you please tell us what the pregame entertainment was that posted? I never heard what it was. I looked through the notes and everything. There was, I wasn't sure what it was, but there was a group out there doing a native thing, but I never heard anybody tell me what it was. And they were off the field before the anthem, so it wasn't that. They used the big flag again. They pretty much are committed to the big flag now after I shamed them into it. At least that's what I hear is I shamed them into it. I don't know if I have that kind of pull. If I did, I'd use it to solve world hunger. Okay, so as long as we're doing this, what is it, 8/5/16? I have 4 copies left for now. I'm ordering more, but if you'd like a copy, $20 signed, shipped, go to Venmo. I just put it in the notes. Venmo and PayPal, you can pay for it. It's good. It's all the 100 story. If you have a fan, you're trying to buy something for Christmas, there you go. It's $20. And I didn't put it same addresses on there. 15 for the presidential porch, which is about every president's favorite drink. Most of them drink liquor, but not everybody. Like Trump drinks Diet Coke, and Biden drank orange Gatorade. Yeah, it's kind of weird. George W. Bush didn't drink either. He was, gave up alcohol when he was a young man. Wow, my voice suddenly gave out. All right, let's see if that's better. So, if you'd like a book, like I said, one of them both, $35. Hey, Christmas present time. I'm talking to guys, so I know nobody cares. If I was on, another channel, maybe. All right, what's going on with the Commanders' defense? Well, for one thing, the last 3 games, time of possession, the other team has had it for 10 minutes more than Washington. And, your defense gets tired. That's a big deal there. Thanks, Tony. I like how you think, but I'm not trying to get rich off this because I'd be in bad shape if I did. But, I'll mail them tomorrow if somebody wants them. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it. It's 8:18. Ooh, it's 1/3 into the show. What we got for people? Well, we actually got a decent crowd number here. Okay. More people watch this show on replay than watch live. So if you're watching on replay, or if you missed the show, part of the show, and you want to go back and see it, when the show's over with, they reset it, and you can watch anything you missed if you care to. Seasons of Discontent, the podcast I do with my friend Matt. We just posted it a few minutes ago. Decided to post it early because of Thanksgiving. So you can go see that. And we talk, I don't know how long the show is, but it's a half hour or so. A little more. We talk about it, lots of nonsense. Daniel Jones is a free agent. Well, Joel, maybe Washington should sign him because he sure does play well in Washington, doesn't he? I hear that, he wants to go to a contender, of course. And Minnesota, I know, is looking at him. So I wouldn't surprise me if the Vikings end up with them. He could be because they just lost Gardner Minshew. And Daniel Jones is better than a lot of people's backups. Here in Washington, I wouldn't mess with the Mariota thing at this point in the season. He's the mentor also for Jaden. So I kind of would leave that chemistry alone and not sign him here. Just Moody's got the books. Do I want to sell the bumper stickers behind me? No. I got those from the man who made them, and unfortunately, he passed away earlier this year. Uh, so, Alan Otis, I guess that's thank you so much for contributing everything. What do I think of the rookie class? I think, it's for as far as the quarterbacks go, I think it's gone about what I expected. I mean, Caleb's had a decent year. I don't think he's the best guy in this group, but he hasn't been bad. I mean, Drake May's getting better. Bo Nix is getting better. Jaden's, top quarterback. So, I mean, I think as far as quarterback classes go, this is actually going to be a good one on there. Let's see. Joel doesn't want a divisional quarterback. I get that. Let's see what the bumper stickers are. Oh, yeah. Ugh. Yeah, there was a guy named Ted. These were not the original ones in the '70s, but they're like it. So he actually made them both as a college marketing student, sold them for $1 each way back in the day. They were a big deal around town. People put them on their bumpers all the time. Now your car costs 40, 50 grand. I ain't putting anything on my bumper. But Billy and Sonny, I tell a story about it. Billy and Sonny both told me a story that they would drive around. They probably had something to drink while they did it. Driving around the Beltway around Washington, and they would look for the bumper stickers. And if it said, like, I like Billy, then they would pull up where Sonny was right next to the driver, and Sonny would flip them off. And the same thing, if you liked Sonny, then Billy would flip you off. And sold a bunch of them, did okay with it. And then a few years ago, oh gosh, at least 5, maybe 10 years ago, he put out some new ones, and he gave me a couple for writing about them. And he had a heart problem, and he retired to Florida at a young age, in his 50s, and he passed away earlier this year. So Ted Schumacher was his name, but good guy. Sorry to see him go. A lot of you probably heard last week Jack Kent Cook's daughter died at 36, and I didn't hear a reason for it. So rest in peace to her. I only knew her, she was like 8 years old, maybe, when Cook had her at the park, come watch practice and ride around the golf cart. So I never talked to her. I mean, she's 8 years old. So that was just sad to see. Another part of the family gone. That was the only daughter Cook had. He also had a couple sons, and one of them have passed. All right, Mike. The offense looks more tired than me. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I think this team is tired. I think they need that break. Gregory, any more stadium or Commanders Park renovations planned? Well, not that I've heard about as far as the park. Stadium stuff, I haven't really said much about yet, but they probably will. Tony just got your text there, so thank you so much. I'll send them tomorrow to Florida. It's always amazing where people come from watching this team. Any chance training camp moves back to Richmond? Asked Jim. No, not moving back to Richmond. No. I mean, that site they're trying to develop too, anyway. YouTube had a classic video game back in the 70s. It was Washington versus Tampa Bay, Joel. Okay, I hadn't seen that. I spend my time on my YouTube channel. I don't watch a whole lot of other ones. I don't know what I do with my days, but who knows? So, okay, Guillermo. Oh, thank you so much, Guillermo. That's very generous of you. So I do appreciate it. Trying to eke out a living here at the end. So let's see. We're almost to December, right? Yeah. So another one of another long season. Tony's from PG County. So am I. Accokeek. Well, I'm born in DC, but I lived in Accokeek, PG County for a long time. Now I live in Charles County in Southern Maryland. And we can say PG because we're from PG. I know they like to say Prince George's County now. Whatever. I'm from here. I went to school all through PG schools, so I can say what I want. Mike, have you heard of the story where they shot squirrels on Foxhall Road? No, I hadn't heard about that. Bob, did I get one of the free Commander scarves yesterday? No. Sometimes I'll grab something from the giveaway that they're doing because a fan has asked me for it. So I'll try and help out people who need them. Not that I'm not taking requests per se. Okay, so I don't even know what they give out every week till I'm there. But somebody occasionally has got a kid wants something, so I try to. But they don't really like handing them out anymore. Here's the problem too that they're having. There's so many visiting fans in that don't like. If you had the Commanders had their burgundy towels, you never saw them being waved. Pittsburgh, because the Pittsburgh fans took them and put them in their pocket or whatever, but they didn't wave them, and that's where a lot of the towels went. So as crazy as that is, so I feel like if you're wearing opposing jersey, you shouldn't get one of the giveaways. But I'll bet there's a lawyer that can tell you that's not possible. Because that would be discrimination. So, but it still sucks. If you're a visiting fan, you shouldn't take that, in my opinion, unless you have a friend. I can't tell you. I post pictures. I sit up on the concourse and take funny photos of fans when they're passing underneath before games. I can't tell you how many couples I saw. One's Dallas and one's Washington, and I don't know how that works, to be honest, because but my wife doesn't really care, but about any of sports. Sports writer's wife doesn't care, but I mean, she'll root for the home teams. She knows the Redskins. If I had a wife who was a big Cowboys fan and wanted to gloat every time they won and all, I don't know how long that could last. I would not be happy about having that. That would have that would no. I couldn't do that. I don't know how you guys do. But I saw a lot of them yesterday. I put up a few photos on my Twitter feed. Charles not winning the division. Yeah, that's gone now. But yeah, they could make the wild card. I mean, if they win 2 games, 9-8 often gets teams in the playoffs, and seven, especially with a seventh seed. And right now they are a seventh seed. So possible. Joe, Detroit versus Philly. Yeah, I can see that in the NFC Championship. KC versus Buffalo. See both of that. I'd like kind of see Buffalo get in, and I'd like to see Detroit. I like new teams to get a chance to spread the wealth. But I can see that. And then if you have Detroit versus Buffalo, I think it'd be Detroit. John, too early to look at the draft? Yes, it's too early to look at the draft. Although today, I must admit, I looked at the draft order and Washington was today picking 21st. And I just thought, they might move down a little bit on that list, or move up rather. So, but who they're taking, if I had to throw a dart, I'd say they'll take a receiver with the first round pick. Maybe a corner, but maybe a receiver. Because if you're picking late in the first, you're not getting one of there's more good receivers than there are practically anything else. I actually think they got to start thinking about a new running back too, because Robinson's been hurt an awful lot, and bad luck and whatever. But it's a result driven job. Are we better than I thought going into the season, Greg? Greg, before training camp, I would have predicted 9 wins. After training camp, I didn't like what I saw. Some things I went to 7. So I guess they're better than I thought, because they're going to win more. They're not going to lose out. I'd be shocked if they lost out. The next year is going to be special. Well, it's going to be a different team, Mark. I mean, that's the thing. You look for a roster turnover again. They need better talent. I mean, let's be honest. These guys are working hard and doing the best they can, but you still need to upgrade your talent. You pretty much look at Kansas City. Kansas City won 3 Super Bowls. Okay, there were 4 guys left from the first Super Bowl to win the third. That was only 4 years apart, and they flipped. They flipped 49 of 53 guys and still won. That's impressive. This team's got to definitely upgrade. There aren't too many places that you wouldn't upgrade. So I don't know how special next year will be. And, they're probably going to be, we'll see. And there's so much that goes into that. Year to year are 2 different things. Charles, the Lions are going to the Super Bowl. Oh, and your wife's a diehard Lions fan? You don't hear that very often. She laughed at the missed point. And how do you put up with that? I mean, especially when they're not playing Detroit. Why would you laugh about that? All right, Tony, Justin or Forbes? You can have to vote one off the island. Well, I guess I'm voting Forbes off because he's not playing. I mean, St. Just, if you maybe protected him a little better, he's an okay player. I really would vote off both. St. Just gives you everything he has, but Mike, I'm still trying to figure out how we went from hero to zero. Yeah, boy, it didn't take long, huh? Man, everybody's just first everybody was playing Super Bowl trips, and now everybody's planning for the top pick in the draft next year. Coach Potato, that's a new name. Glad to have you. Um, 4 more years of Ron 2.0. I don't know if I would say that. Um, Going 7 and 9 next 3 years. That kind of sounds familiar. Fire Cliff after 3, maybe. There was rumors. That's all they were. People talking about Kingsbury could be the next Cowboys coach before this game. I don't think we're going to be talking about that again. Never give up. Growing pains, and it is. And I mean, that's something Quinn talks a lot about too. Is they got to learn how to win these kind of games. So I don't think the rib injury anymore is really a big factor, Brian. I think we're there. He's past that some. All right, so Chargers are up 7-0 over Baltimore. I mean, Chargers are a decent team. Harbaugh's are good coaches. There's no denying. Both of them are good coaches. Well, one won a national college championship last year, and the other one's been to a Super Bowl. So it's not like I'm just coming out of nowhere. So, Joe, I didn't hear anything about Dallas mocking Washington, but I didn't hear anything about it. It was really weird that Washington was a 10.5 point favorite. I didn't see that. That seemed kind of crazy to me. Let's see. So that's why I said I thought Washington would win but not cover. So in the end, I was right. Well, I was right about covering. All right, Charles, be quick. Would you have gone for the jugular and gone for 2 at the end of the game? Yes. Yeah, I've said it a little earlier. I would have gone for it. And I know Quinn said, well, road teams do that, not home teams. VS, man. Go steal that game at the end if you could. I would have. They got JD, who's a really good quarterback for a 2-point conversion because he can move. I would have gone for it. I mean, hindsight, who knew the kicker was going to miss the extra point? That seemed like, but I thought going into overtime, you don't know what's going to happen. Do it now. Win now. People who say, I've really gotten tired of this. There's, oh, it's supposed to be a rebuilding year anyway, so I'm not disappointed with it. I am, because if you're 7-2, go for it, dude. That's why they got Marshawn Lattimore, among all things. You had a chance here to have something special, even when you weren't supposed to, but go for it. Teams do that. And I think I'm disappointed that they're not going to be a better team than they are. Now, losing to Pittsburgh and Philly, understandable. Those are two very good teams. Both have real Super Bowl shots. But losing to this Dallas game, that was ridiculous. And that's going to stain the season. Shark Week doesn't work anymore. Oh, okay, Mike. I'm not sure what that means, but all right. Joel had them losing by 4. Well, you were close. Predict any firings in the division. Yeah, I think New York is going to change coaches. Wouldn't surprise me there, Greg. Dallas, I could see that change. There's a rumor, and that's all it is, that Dion might be up for the Dallas. And I know Dion said, I love Colorado. I'm being here. Yeah, whatever. But there's a bigger rumor that Dion's going to go to Las Vegas if they draft his son, who's the quarterback, in the first round. And Dion in Vegas, that'd be interesting. I mean, he's prime time. That's a good city for him. So I could see that. So who else is? Well, Philly is not firing anybody. So I mean, New York and Dallas would not surprise me any on that. I don't know how Jerry would handle prime though. Jerry likes to be the shiny one. Okay. Daniel, thanks for coming in. Doing great. Let's see. Tony, when Washington beats Dallas at home, McCarthy gets the boot. Well, that's the last game of the season. I don't think it's getting flexed to anything important anymore. So we were just talking about next year's schedule, the beat writers, and I was thinking, it's going to happen next year. They're going to be back in Thanksgiving Day game. It's been a few years. And then we worry about it being a Christmas Day team, playing on Christmas Day. I don't want to play. No, I don't work on Christmas. If they play a game on Christmas, I won't be there. Christmas and Easter are God's days with family. I ain't doing otherwise. Don't care. Why would you want to go cover that? Now, if you want to go sit in the stands with your family, that's your business. But I'm not working. But we were thinking about that. And I think next year could be an overseas game. They're going to play 8 games. I could see them being an overseas team. And next year, they only have 8 home games. So they would be the visiting team if that happens. Do we need a speed receiver or a speed back? Well, you can always use both. They have speed receivers like Diami, but they're not doing anything with them. Joel thinks Dion's going to FSU. That would be interesting because would they win 1 game? I mean, I couldn't believe Florida State won 1 game, but this new NIL, this new paying players thing is so disruptive on everything. Todd, the Raiders need a quarterback. Yep. I don't know if Deion Sanders' son is a really good quarterback or not. I've not really watched them hard. And you've got to watch them hard to see, are they a product of what's around them, or are they individually that good? And I'm not bothering with that till January. Brent, I think B-Rob should be traded because he gets hurt too much. Well, I don't think you can trade him. I mean, what's anybody going to give you for him? But I do think that maybe it's time next year to start thinking about a new one. And, he's had a few years and just had problems. So it's a result-driven business, and it's a cold business. John, with recent problems on offense, do we no longer need to worry about Cliff getting a head coaching job next year? I would say it's a safe bet. I don't see that happening. We're still a young team, Gregory. I think on the numbers they are. I'd have to look. I mean, they changed the most players on this had the biggest roster turnover since 1945, but a lot of them were older veterans. So a lot of people were on 1-year deals. So I think there'll be a lot of change again next year. Okay. So Mike says Micah Parsons said this week that Dan would call it Shark Week if he needed an extra effort. Okay, I hadn't heard that one. Daniel, do you believe the game needed to happen, showing that our Washington team was too good, too quick, too early? Could be some of that. Has the rest of the league caught up to them? I don't know if I'd quite say that, but they've lost to 2 really good teams and a divisional opponent. Bob, what division out of conferences do we play next season? I don't know. I haven't even paid attention to that. I stay in the moment. I know everybody asks about questions for next year. I stay in the moment. I worry about this week's game because that's what I'm writing about. I don't really look down the road much. I learned that from coaches all the time. Matter of fact, Quinn talked about it today. He says, concentrate on this game, not everything. This game. I'm the same way. I just worry what's in front of me because you're always busy. Don't have time to sit here and do long-term stuff during the season. You just kind of go week to week. Will they activate Chris Rodriguez? Well, they have to sign him again, Brandon, but I'd say it's a fair shot. They have not re-signed him to the practice squad yet, but tomorrow is Tuesday, so a lot of this happens on Tuesdays. Bob, Deion's son's not that good. Okay, I haven't, and you got to have the right mental. If you say he's very immature, narcissistic, well, at least Dad might keep him in line a little bit, but don't come into the NFL with a bad attitude because you won't last long. Daniel, what did you think about seeing Joe Gibbs wearing that Washington Commanders hat? Joe, Joe doesn't want to cause waves and wear a Redskins hat. So Joe had a birthday, I think, today. I have to look him up, how old he is. All right, Tony, I hate the international games. Well, I think they're fine. So it's kind of cool to watch, international ones that see how those people handle it. Like Germans love the NFL. They love the NFL as much as anybody here does, which I find pretty wild because, Europe has all these great soccer teams and all. I don't sit here and worry about it. We have American soccer if I want to watch it. So it surprises me that foreign countries are so into the NFL when they can't really ever see a game live or on a weird times or something. We do have a lot of people. Probably have somebody out there tonight who's over in Europe, and right now in Europe it's 5 hours ahead. So it's like 1:30 in the morning. I bet you. Is there anybody out there? Go ahead and shout out if you are. I know on replay they'll show up. I'll watch it in the morning. Like I said, Greg, team plays in Kansas City next year. I've been there, man. It's a loud place. I don't know how it quite configures that way, but it's a loud place. Okay, so we're playing NFC or North and AFC West. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. So NFC North, good. Okay, AFC. That's not easy. But the AFC West is not as tough as it used to be. Mike, worst team, worst game, 3.5. Yeah, I mean, that half, I was like, wow, because Washington missed so many opportunities. Brian Gibbs is 84 now. Wow. Remember when he was like 44? Life Unfiltered. Oh, I like that name. We need a top tier running back, cornerback, and elite wide receiver. For starters, yeah, could use I'd like a Gronk at tight end. I mean, you want playmakers wherever they are. Steve playing the Bears again. Yeah, they just played them. Would that be the third straight year? Sometimes you get in that thing. They played Tampa Bay a bunch of times in a row. It was kind of weird. Tampa Bay? Like again this year, they play Tampa Bay a lot. It seems on everything. So if we got 20 minutes to go, I get new audiences like every 15 minutes. Some of them. So if you would like, that's why I put it just in the comments again. The 100 things, because a lot of new people are now watching. 100 stories on the team. They're all like 3 pages each or something. So they're quick reads. So if you'd like one, $20 signed, shipped, and delivered. Signed, shipped, and well, yeah, whatever. So $20 total. So I only have a handful of these left. So like 3. No, 2. I have 2 left. You want one? I'm getting a new box coming in, but probably a week or so from now. Because I didn't realize it was down so low. So $20 or presidential pours. I wrote this earlier this year about all the presidents and drinking. It's a fun read about every president. Let's see. Let's just pick one at random. Ulysses S. Grant, who drank his favorite drink was champagne. There you go. Who knew? He didn't drink much once he became president. Franklin Pierce, weird guy. Franklin Pierce said, "I'm going to do one term," and that's all he did. But he did some good stuff there. He died of cirrhosis of the liver shortly after being president. There he is. So John Tyler, who was like born in the late 70s, John Tyler was president in 1841. He still has a grandson alive, believe it or not. It's one of these really weird things where everybody was like 90 or something. He liked Lieutenant Richardson's whiskey and champagne. Man, there's a weird looking dude. Anyway, that's the presidential pours. Actually, I have a tour downtown I do. If you're coming to town in the holidays, I am a tour guide. Go to monumentalthoughts.com. You can reach out to me. Anyway, this is 15. If you want both, they're 35 because shipping, man, post office kills me. Shipping now is like $5 a book with all the raises they've had. So I pass the savings on to you, but whatever on that. So let's see. Am I going to watch any college football this weekend? No. I watched a few minutes of Maryland because I'm a Maryland fan, but boy, they haven't done well this year. I'm not going to watch Maryland Penn State because I know what's going to happen there. I've been watching Maryland football since 1972. So went on patrol day when I was a kid. Man, there was nobody at the game the other day. Ooh, there was nobody there. Sad. It was a home finale. And this weekend with Thanksgiving, students are all home. If anybody's got a home game, you wonder how many people they draw. Tony, Senate has potential. Right. It hasn't been used as much as I would have thought. Ertz has grabbed the lion's share, but they don't seem to be finding tight ends as much out there. Let's see. Greg, does Northwest Stadium name go to the new stadium? No. No, I don't believe so. I started calling it Straight South Stadium because that's where this team is going. I used to call the old one Fed Up Stadium because everybody's fed up. My podcast is called Seasons of Discontent. And for a few weeks this season, people are like, you got to change the name of your podcast because nobody's discontented. Well, here we are again, huh? So that's how it works. That's why I never change it. Daniel, would you say we need a running back or a second all-star receiver? I go with a second receiver. I mean, it's hard to find an all-star running back anymore. You don't get many Barclays. Brandon, do you think they replace Austin at kicker and maybe give Chaz a shot? I don't think so this week. But if the guy doesn't do well, then I think over the bye they make a move. We got 15 minutes to go. Okay. And all right. Okay. So let's see. What do you think of Jay Gruden's a top 5 offensive coordinator in the NFL? Jay's, pretty well respected for being a coordinator, but nobody's grabbed him the last couple of years. So once you're out of the NFL, man, sometimes it's hard to get back in. That's why guys who are being paid, they get fired. They'll take assistant jobs elsewhere. They're still getting they could not work and get all that money because anything you make at the next team comes off the last team's bill. But they don't want to be out of the NFL because once you're out of the NFL, it's hard to get back in. Traveling aliens here. All right, just came on to say, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Well, didn't want to listen to the banter here. I won't be on again before Thanksgiving. That's only 3 days. Next Monday, I'll have a show. Might take by Monday off. Tony, Didier, Warren, and Walker. They were great. They were all great. Think the stadium needs a Gibbs statue, Gregory. The next stadium, I would say, I would put it there. But that next stadium is going to be years from now. So maybe, Gibbs, is getting older. Maybe you want to do it while he's still alive, and you can just put it on a hand truck and take it to the next stadium. I would have no problem with that. I like statues. I'm in the statue business as a tour guide, So I'm all for, but make it a real statue, out of, marble or something or bronze, not something you got out of Home Depot. That was crazy. And yes, I know people ask me, is Jason Wright still with the team? Yeah, still games. I'm not sure through the end of the year. So I'm not sure where he's tried to get a couple jobs elsewhere, like the Packers president's job and all, but it didn't happen. But it'll show up somewhere. All right, we got 10, 15 minutes left. I'm tired. I'm thinking it's more. When will we see Lattimore play, Brian? I think the week after the bye, and which I don't even know who we're playing that week. I haven't looked yet. I only look at this week, next week. Who are we playing after the bye week? I forget. Is that Philly? No, like I said, I spend time in the where I am, and where they always say "be where your feet are," or whatever that saying. New Orleans, okay. Whew, New Orleans is a great road trip. If you're looking to go on a road trip, New Orleans, it's a walkable city. The stadium's right there, downtown. It's probably, I don't know, a 10-minute walk from Bourbon Street, or 15, 20 as you come back drunk. I can't tell you how many drunks I've seen in New Orleans, but it's a great city. It's got. I went once with my wife on vacation, saw a whole different place. I only just saw the stadium and Bourbon Street. I never got to do anything else. But with her, because we're not really drinkers so much, we went and saw all the fun stuff. So just don't go to New Orleans in the summer, ungodly hot. But in the winter, it's very nice. And yeah, amazing food town. Tony, I think they're a little fancy for me, but I've had Gator there. It was pretty good. But you go to some of these restaurants that are really highbrow stuff, and I was like, listen, I just want to eat a cheeseburger or something, At least in the old days, I don't eat cheeseburgers much anymore. Trying to bolster my health a little more, and I'm really cranking down on a lot of food. Diabetes has been a problem. Any of you diabetics out there, I can tell you, I started on Mounjaro, got rid of the Ozempic. It was not agreeing with me, and I had real problems with it. So I went to Mounjaro, and it has made all the difference in the world. And so now that I got that finally straight, I'm trying to lose more weight again, and maybe I can throw away all these meds one day. When you get older, boys, man, the sins of your past are on you. I wish I had taken better, worked less hard and taken better care of myself. So this is where I am now, and I'm trying to just eat smarter. I do have a little bit of pizza, but I bought a slice of frozen pizza with cauliflower crust and whatever this thing. I'm going to eat it tomorrow on camera. It's only one piece. I don't have much hope for it. I do eat a little bit of pizza, but because listen, I had to have open heart surgery. I had a heart attack at Redskin Park. Had to have open heart surgery 2 years later. I asked the doctor, I said, listen, doc, I lost like 60 pounds. I did everything you said. And he said, oh, it's not you, it's your DNA. Oh, then screw it. I'm going back for some pizza and beer. He goes, well, don't do that. I said, you just said it was about my DNA. Pick a side. You guys want me to be like a grizzly bear, eat salmon and drink water. You see any of them skinny bears? No. But, listen, you got to be smart as you get older because it gets harder. So, I'd like to think I could stick around a little longer. All right. I think we're due for a Hall of Fame game next year, Gregory. Well, that'd be interesting. I mean, sure, why not? It's an extra preseason game, but they don't treat preseason games very smart. I think coaches really waste them and too afraid of the criticism of having a player get hurt. Quit being a coward, boys. Go out there and play ball. Brandon says I said something funny, but I forget what it is. I think the bear thing. Yeah. Lou from California. Glad to see him. I'm concerned that with 2 concussions this season, there may not be that Austin Eckler season may be over and career. And I agree with you. That's a thought too. He was out on that field. That's scary stuff. I think Austin's made all the money he needs. He's had a good career. But the NFL is a drug that no one wants to leave, including me. It's not easy to say goodbye. I get it, but if I split an infinitive or 2, nobody cares. But I don't want to see Austin, have memory problems and stuff like that happens with these players. It's a terrible thing. I've had family with some of these memory problems. It's a terrible thing. So really, walk away while you can. Jim, 75. All right, good for you, man. You out there splitting rails. Good for you. Hopefully, I make it to 75 and still in one piece. Gregory, give us less preseason, more regular season. I agree. I'd go to 18-2 because they're not doing anything with these preseason games. They're not getting the team ready. I didn't think that Quinn did a good job in the preseason getting players ready, and they lost the Tampa Bay game because they didn't look prepared at all. Kenny, did you see the block in the back on Sinistro on the Turpin play? No, I didn't. Haven't had a chance to look at everything yet. Mondays are still a continuation of Sundays to me. I get some sleep, have to do a couple things in the morning, and then I hit it. But by Tuesday, I look at stuff like that. We got a few minutes to go. You can tell I'm tired, so I'm looking at the clock. I got maybe an hour left in me before I'm asleep on this. All right, last comment. So, and if you like to hit the thanks button, hey, it's the holidays. Tip your journalist. We always do appreciate it. The $sign underneath is one way, or you can just send it via the PayPal or Venmo. But if you're going to do that, just go ahead and buy a book if you want to support it. 20 for this, 10 for this. There you go. And 35 for both. They're fun reads. You can give them away as Christmas presents. All right. Well, the Commanders put the throwback on the Redskins. And matter of fact, in case you missed it, there's the Venmo and PayPal things to do. And if nothing else, you don't want to part with $1, hit the thumbs up button for me because that helps the algorithm on there. I'm also on, Twitter, of course, and then Blue Sky. I want to call it Blue Ski. I've avoided that, but boy, I almost did once. Blue Sky. I'm on there too, RS Washington. So, but if you're on Twitter, it's the same thing. I just move stuff over. I've had to do some shorter videos because on Blue Sky, it's only up to 59 seconds, whereas Twitter, I can do as long as I want, but they're 2 minutes normally. So I'm over there. Instagram, Rick Snider's Washington. I decided to try some new things just to see lately if anybody else is watching them. Twitter, I lost like 350 followers in the last 3 weeks on Twitter because people were reacting to Musk. So I'm just trying to see what's out there. It's the only reason I do it. I'm looking to create more work for myself. Antoinette, there you are. Well, the Commanders put the throwback Redskins uniforms on next season. Haven't discussed it yet. I know there's talk of the politicians said about they're going to be able to use the Indian on the throwbacks. That's him saying that. That's not the team saying that. That's not the NFL saying that. It may happen, but they haven't said it. And I'm going to listen to a politician, just like the politician last week said RFK was. He voted against giving RFK to the city because he says it's the most valuable property the Department of Interior has. Are you kidding me, dude? You want to talk about, let's just talk about Yellowstone. You don't think Yellowstone's worth more than the RFK site? See, politicians just talk nonsense. All of them do. Todd, thank you so much. Do appreciate it. That'll buy my Costco pie, hopefully, on there. I guess I'll have videos up on Thanksgiving. I know not everybody's lucky to have family with them. So I post videos on Thanksgiving and Christmas. I just do them ahead. But I post them because not everybody's lucky enough to have someone. And hey, if that 2 minutes gives you something, and people tell me it does, I'm amazed. Recently did an audit on the show here, Rick Snider's Washington, across social media. Last year, 7.2 million views. The 4 years that I've done it, 22 million. So I was quite surprised that many, even though I charted almost all the time. But thank you all so much for watching. It's been an amazing journey on doing this. This was like something I did after getting laid off a bunch of times and thought, let's just try it. And turns out it's a big hit. And then I see some of the other beat writers now doing 2-minute videos. And hey, listen, I didn't create this. I don't trademark it. I don't own it. They're free to do what they want to do too. If you watch them, you're watching me, whatever. It's not a big deal. But people try it, but it's not easy to do every day. I have 2 every day, 6 a.m. and then around dinner time, whenever the news is going on. And Brandon, you're welcome. Appreciate it. Legend. I like to be instead of legend. I like notorious better. So I do appreciate it. And the Monday thing, it's fun talking to you guys. As an old newspaper man, I never really get to talk to fans of the team as much as I would like. So because we're kind of taught to separate. But occasionally, people come up to me on the concourse. Feel free to come up and say hi. I mean, people tell me I saw you. Say hi. It's okay. So appreciate that. And I guess we're winding down. So I hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving. Let's see. My plate, somebody sent me a poll of favorite side dishes, and they had stuffing first. No. Mashed potatoes is first. Okay. Mac and cheese is second. Great mac and cheese. Sweet potatoes I'd have on the table. I know a lot of people like green bean casserole. I'm okay with it, but it's not my favorite. I just kind of just go around, grab a little bit of everything. And turkey, when I was a kid, it's different today. When I was a kid back in the Stone Age, you didn't eat turkey, but at Thanksgiving or Christmas. My dad worked for the gas company, and the gas company would give its workers a turkey, come in and but you didn't, now you can eat turkey every day of the week if you want year round. I'm not sure what happened or why we couldn't back then. But so to me, I kind of like ham more, but I eat turkey all the time. I'm going to be at Costco tomorrow. I'll grab another chicken on there. I eat a lot of that. I don't eat as much red meat anymore since the heart attack years ago. Well, I don't like lumpy mashed potatoes either, Kenny. You got to be good ones at least. Internet, does Virginia have a chance to get a new stadium? No. They just blew the arena deal. Nobody's going to trust them for that. No. And they don't want to spend it. The legislature does not want to spend money in Northern Virginia. Virginia's legislature in Richmond is a central and south dominated state legislature. They're not spending money in Northern Virginia. So no. That's why they don't have a pro sports team in a major league way. They have some minor league ones. So no, it's not, it's not my business. I live in Maryland. So it's up to them. Prime rib for Christmas. Ooh, Gregory. Rich guy. Okay. On there. But anyway, I would make mashed potatoes my one seed, even though I eat them year round. Mac and cheese, man, good mac and cheese. So that stuffing, something I don't eat very often because my wife doesn't like it. So we don't eat it. But I like stuffing, good stuffing, and not with all this weird stuff in it. Just makes the stuffing on there. Hams we were talking about today. So my Maryland ham has stuffed greens in it, Southern Maryland ham. Where Virginia is, is it salty? I can't take a Virginia ham with salted one. Whew. Ugh, too much for me. Cranberry? No, Antoinette. Don't like cranberries. I don't know why. Dessert? Okay, now we're talking, Brandon. Um, I'm still a pumpkin pie guy, although apple pie is my favorite. But at Thanksgiving, I'll have both of them there. I'm going to go to Costco tomorrow, and you can get it's a $10, I think, for it. I mean, it's the pumpkin pie. Honestly, could at least do 10 slices. It's the best value. It's one of those value things they do to bring people in. And then I grab something else. The next thing I know, I've spent $200. Dutch apple pie is good, Daniel. I like that. Sweet potato pie, Tony. I'm fine with it, but to me, it's sort of a cousin of pumpkin pie. I don't see a big difference. Oh, you put marshmallows on it, but you can do that wherever you want. Yeah, Greg, I think the stadium probably ends up in Landover again, but there's a lot that's going on. They just got out of the Senate committee. The Senate could still vote on it in time. We'll see. Whipped cream on my pie. A lot of times, Antoinette, I would say yes. The chocolate silk pies and all those are good, but that's not really a pie. Costco tomorrow, pizza or hot dog? I've actually done videos on both lately because I'd never had a Costco pizza until like a month ago, and everybody yelled at me, but it was true because I always got the hot dog. So I would say tomorrow. Now I got to pick, huh? Last time I was there, I got maybe pizza. I mean, pizza or hot dog all day long, but they're both good. Maybe I can put one in my cart to take home and eat it on the ride home too. That's what I would do. I got to figure out what else I'm picking up there tomorrow. I'm sure tomorrow at Costco will be like nuts. But if you just buy a couple of things, you can get out the side, self check thing. But I tell you what, if you go to Costco, I've been there when it opens at 10 o'clock. My God, man, at 9:55, no one's in front of the building. At 10 o'clock, it's like all hell breaks loose. Shoe fly pie. I actually had that, Tony, last year for the first time. Intense, intense amount of sugar. I don't usually try to eat as much, but it was interesting. I liked it fine. I actually did a video. If you search that, I did it with my grandkids. We all tried it. When does Harris have a deadline to tell the NFL stadium plans? None. There's nothing there, Greg, that they have to do it when on there. I know prices are going up. I saw the Post reported about a 15% increase, but I can tell you some of the expensive seats I've heard about are really going up. And listen, when they get to a stadium, I don't think I'm making it to the new stadium. At least I might be alive, but I don't think I'm going to be covering anything by then. But the PSLs kind of scare me that could be happening. And suddenly the fan base is just rich people that can afford it instead of Joe Average who loves this team to death and has to spend a week's pay to go see a game. That's not right, especially if state tax money is involved. You're already putting our tax money in that place. I don't want to see PSLs. But politicians, they don't care about us. So they'll do whatever. That way the governors can say, ooh, I kept the team. Whatever, dude. Well, KJ Gonzalez is around, but I don't know. It's Monday. We'll hear a lot more on Wednesday. The raisin prices, Greg, like 15%, something like that. It depends on where your seats are for everything. They have had good crowds. The place has been full all season. I read a note in the Washington Post. Nikki Jabala wrote it, and Nikki's a really good beat writer. I mean, she's really good. But she had in there about, a third of season tickets for renewal. And it was, anyway, the way she phrased it made it sound like there were 30,000 season tickets overall. But that was for 1 year plan kind of thing. And maybe people have multi-year plans. So could be more than that. All right, Steve's just kicked me to the curb, so I know it's time to go because Steve and I ride in and out together here on this thing, so I can't do it without him. So that's right. Yep, got the bell. My grandson was here the other day, grabbed it, and I had to get it from him. Anyway, thank you all for coming so much. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving. While I watch any games, probably just a minute here and there. I got family coming, and that's more important to me. So I appreciate everybody coming. Thank you so much, Brandon. You too, Antoinette. Do I think there'd be more Commanders fans Sunday? Yes, because I don't think there'd be a lot of Tennessee fans. And traveling on Thanksgiving weekend is kind of hard, especially airlines. So I think that's another one. So thanks everybody for coming. If you watch some of this, you missed the show and you want to see some more, well, I suggest you reset your life. But if you'd like to see the rest of the show, um, give it a couple minutes and it'll reset here on YouTube on there. And then the videos are in the morning, 6 a.m., 6 p.m. And if you hit the thanks button, if you're watching on replay, you can still donate to the cause. Hit that $sign or hit the thumbs up button before you leave. That'll help us too. And everybody, thank you so much for coming. As always, I'm Rick Snider, and I'll see you soon.